And at last, Lavos pops out. He enters attack mode, which, basically, you're going to see a superimposition of a former boss. And then we're doing this. We can't save, but we can heal up if we need to. Luckily, the items we used kinda gave us all of our stuff back, so we're in good shape to start out with. But Lavos here, we are essentially going to start out Lavos with a boss rush. So you know, this is it, kind of. This is it, at least stage 1 of it. So if you remember... Nope. If you remember how to fight the dragon tank, you can fight the first bit here. And luckily, it didn't have any more hit points than the original dragon tanks. So, you know. So now it's going on to that thing, which I only vaguely remember what that was. But just in case you actually got hurt during that fight. Because that's... I know it took me a second to respond because... But yeah, why do you think Zeal thinks he said yes and in her delusional state she thought she was ascending? That's kind of what it was. As far as I know, he literally just absorbed her. Oh yeah, that's right. Gotta do just like before. Zap with lightning to weaken. Was it? No, it was just all magic, wasn't it? Yeah. And now he's taking on the form of Zombor there. I'm gonna say this is an interesting concept for a boss fight. But, this really is one of the weakest moments of the game. You will see why I say that in a minute. And it's because, I mean, part of the reason is because you're facing this thing, and you saw this during the midpoint of the game, and it just wiped your party, wiped the floor with your party. And now we're doing this, and it's this really weird feeling. I don't think Masamune has any extra hit points. So it may not even get to the point where it's storing up power. Nope. Didn't quite get there. And here's you. You need the lightnings. Yeah, all the stuff with Queen Zeal's fine, but it's this final boss fight. And oh yeah, here we go. Magus gets to fight Lavos' representation of himself. And it switches forms to use ice. Zeal was the accelerant. I'm not gonna lie. Lavos is a giant space tick. For better or worse, Lavos is a giant space tick that just comes down, draining the planet dry. And then moves on after birthing a whole bunch more of him. But that's kind of the point. He's been built up to be this huge threat that ends the world. Yeah, he literally is nothing more than a giant parasitic space pest. That in reality was pretty much just doing what he had to do to survive. But you know. It's still massively underwhelming for a final boss, for the final challenge of the game that, in every other regard, has been just freaking amazing, really. There's very little about this game that is not just top freaking tier. Yeah, before we weren't that strong, but he also didn't open up with the 1,000 damage point hit like he did originally. And as a matter of fact, the form that you encounter at the Ocean Palace is about twice as strong as this form. I don't know, like I said, it just feels like a weak point to me in a game where everything else has been so tightly taken care of and so well executed. And I hate to spoil the surprise, but technically we ain't done yet. As you might guess. So it's you again. We remember what to do with you. Don't even think I'm gonna need anything special there. Too bad this thing doesn't get the goofy face with the boss fight. With this boss form, I was meaning to say. And yes, typing with a cat is hard. I don't know. It could wear a mask. It could wear a mask. And it has one eye. I think that's an eye. So now... Let us stretch again. I've been sitting far too long today. I'm just gonna say. How does it look mad? I mean, obviously it's annoyed. I would be too. But restoration. Too bad we can't save after all that, because not that it was hard, but we've been through the Queen, been through the Mammoth Machine, been through Queen 2.0, and now we went through the boss rush there. And now we actually get to fight this. See, it gets to do that to us now, but again, it's not nearly as strong as it used to be. Because it used to be fully powered up when we fought it the first time. It's not quite there this time. We got it before it was fully charged. And luckily, that should not affect us. Pretty standard fight. Stage 2. Stage 2 is over. And we beat the beak, basically. But that's not it. Magus got to do the emo thing here. And we just walk inside its shell. Which, kind of like the TARDIS, is a whole lot bigger on the inside. Well, there is turning back. If you actually go here, you will retreat, basically. Yeah. We're not quite done. We still have a little bit to go. Just a tiny amount. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. So this next fight is this next fight doesn't have just one stage. Oh yeah, you didn't have an inkling. Neither did anybody else. But notice this is called Dream's End. We are at Dream's End, literally the ending of the game. We got one more fight. And that fight is a multi-stage fight. Because of course it is. And the further we get inside this cave, the faster that heartbeat goes. So, we are inside Lavos' core, basically. Well, not the core, but inner Lavos. So now, get ready to have all of your fun plans you ever made put on hold. Because you're going to want to beat down the arms first here. Break the arms, and even though you've got status immunity, you're probably not going to get to keep it. Because the head has defense at maximum until you actually break the arms. And the arms also give the body back hit points and extra things. So, yeah, now that we've gotten rid of that. See that? Yeah, she just lost her status ailment immunity. Forever. The rest of this fight counts as forever. Just to let you know. So now she can be confused and slept. But you can only get one person at a time with it, which is lucky. But just don't count on it not doing that 2 more times. No, believe me, this fight is doable without the status protection. It's just the other fights along the way you probably don't want to do without them. The nice armor and all that was really more for getting to the end fight. Okay, now we just need to give it a second. Should give us a message. Maybe it already did. Let's actually try. This is why you carry all the panaceas. Yeah, it is still cheap. I am not arguing with you that it is still cheap as hell. I'm very much in agreement that is very, very cheap. I mean, other things in the armor still work perfectly well. The extra elemental resistance, that's still there, which is a happy thing. That's a lot more visually impressive than it is actually damaging. But it's still something you need to take, you need to actually pay attention to. And unfortunately, magic is just not all that effective. This is why I said Magus was kind of a waste of a party member. Because magic just really doesn't come in all that useful. I mean, outside of healing magic. And that is this stage down. Yeah, we're not done. Meet Final Lavos. This is it. This is the thing. This goofy looking thing right here with the chicken legs. This thing right here. This is our final boss. The first time I saw this, I broke out laughing. Yes, this is Heel's God, everyone. Blackjack, what? Yeah, this thing is the reason we're all here. But this goofy looking thing with the chicken legs and the fish mouth, I never did take this seriously until it actually beat the hell out of me the first time I fought it. Because it actually has things. It actually has some things. So, it actually will get very, very, mean. And there are, it does have a very small, chance to actually give you a full party wipe. It can instantly reduce your entire party to 0 if you get really unlucky. Even if you're at full, it can just kind of go, nope, boom, you die. That's it. It can do that. It's incredibly rare, but it can happen. I think it happened to me the first time I played this fight. So yeah. Yeah, you would think more insectoid. You really would. You actually would. And they're going to give a rousing speech to Chicken Fish Man here. Which kind of means that Lavos, the Lavos we know, is pretty much just an intergalactic spaceship for this thing. That's pretty much it. The big shell and the beak and all that. Oh, it probably can, but I doubt we understand it. So now, this fight has a trap in it. And it's kind of a standard trap, but you have to get through the trap to get to the real fight anyway. Oh, I'm out of stuff. So let's do this. Don't want to use that yet. The trick is that the thing I've got my cursor on there, the right side, that's what we need to kill. You may think it's this dude right here, but no, it's this dude. That's what you gotta kill. However, you can't actually do any significant damage to it until both the other pieces are dead. So it's only kind of a trap. But you know, whatever. So you need to kill this thing before you can kill the middle. And you gotta kill the middle before you can kill the right side. Oh crap, I did not want to land here. It does time warps, which give it different attacks. This is one. It does that. Yeah, this is not going to be a fun fight, I will say that. If it keeps going back to that time period and getting access to that attack, oh yeah, this is going to be painful. It's random. It's pure randomness. So let's do that. And now it has disabled his status ailment immunity. And another shield sphere. Chrono. And random status effects. Luckily, the ultimate magical attack is not quite the punch to the groin that everything else is. But that little stone attack he has, oh man, that's the one you fear, unless you kit out specifically for it. There are a couple of helmets that will actually help out. Okay, good. We got those two down. Now we can actually start doing damage. But yeah, the only way you can do damage to that, and it has a good chunk of hit points. I think it, again, has about 30,000 hit points, much like the Queen did. Only getting to it is a little more difficult. It's much more manageable if you can actually get it in the cycle of getting 1 or 2 good hits on the right side and being able to handle the other 2 as they resurrect. Okay, nobody's hurting. Ah, crap, I forgot. Please give me enough time. That was not enough time. Burning through a lot of magic points to do this, but last boss. Yep, the real Lavos is the pod. It won't be restored for long. Also, this fight is a good reason to not play the game on active. That's it. Time! Yeah, the soldier's waking him up. And this pretty much advances itself. I don't have to hit anything. At least I shouldn't. But now Chrono goes to face his crimes, basically. Was it going to make me advance it? And the king is like, where exactly did you take my daughter? Marl's going to plead for Chrono's life here. Chrono hasn't done a thing! My daughter says Chrono has done nothing. What do you think of that, Chancellor? If I may speak freely, Your Grace, I think your daughter is clearly quite delusional. Chrono's deeds have impacted the entire kingdom. So yeah, again. And there's a reason I've been gone. You see, we had to save the future. Little bit of a prank, yeah. Doan. King Guardia the 21st. Kino. Luca. Luca had little something to do with this. And yeah, all these people are descendants and ancestors of the royal family. Just in case that wasn't abundantly clear. And the king's going to have a good old, like, man, what the hell was I thinking party here? And instead of execution, Chrono gets a hero's welcome, essentially. And remember, this is but one ending. This is just the Moonlight Parade ending, essentially. This is probably the most Kanan ending you're going to get. It's the typical ending. Best ending, that kind of, your mileage may vary. Your mileage may vary depending on what you think the best ending is. But the cat gets to lead the parade with one of the people from Medina and a couple of dancers. And a bunch of little girls blowing kisses to Chrono. And kitties, yes. We saved the world. So we have Marl and we have Chrono, and we can walk around a little bit. We can't leave, but we can walk around a little bit and get more dancers. And we can move those dancers by talking to them. We can't talk to most people. There's Chrono's mom, who wishes we'd spend more time around the house. Who complains about no one being able to look around look after the pets. But they can go back and forth like that. There's Melchior, who thinks the days for weapons may be over and doesn't really care much. Tabin and Lara. So yeah, a parade held in our honor. But we can go this way, deeper in, and see the little star patterns on the ground. Stepping on them, of course, gets us more people dancing for us. This time we can't interact with them like we could the others. Because that one's literally on top of a pole, I mean, you know. But everything's all bright and glittery. The twinkling lights. And they've blocked off access to Gado's little domain over there. Sadly. Yeah, one threat may be gone, but who knows. Men will probably still go to war, but you know. Yeah, we no longer can get to Gado. We cannot exchange blows with the robot for silver points. Can't chug soda anymore because no one's over here to chug it with. I mean, we don't even have access to the spooky tent And now it's time for one last farewell. Everybody got to go back to their own time, and now that Lavos is gone, the gate isn't exactly as stable as it used to be. Yep, they're all leaving. They got things to do. In Ayla's case, make your ancestors. That's kind of important for you, Marl. Better have a lot of strong kids. Don't worry, Ayla has a lot of energy. Chrono embarrassed Ayla there. Best character ever. 10 out of 10. Yep, Queen Lean awaits, so they need to leave. I said nothing about Ishimaru Kiyotaka. I was talking about Ayla. And Frog is like, Frog cannot handle farewells. So Marl just going to give him a kiss. Yeah, you know it's a happy ending when the princess kisses the frog. Yes, I said best character ever. That is Ayla. And now, Magus is going to go search for Shala, who was last seen nearly spent, completely drained of all life energy, and then sucked out a portal. And without a word, he just leaves. Robo and Doan here. This is the one Luca can't take. Yeah. Also the fact that we changed history. So, Robo's future doesn't exist anymore. Caution, oil has occluded my vision sensors. Sight diminished. Yeah, even the robot was crying there. That one can. And they're going to have a little discussion alluding back to that point in the forest. She could build Robo, yes. And she gets a feeling that the entity kind of behind all that is at rest too. awfully easy to mess things up traveling through time. It's like, we should probably dismantle the epoch again, shouldn't we? But... by the way, this happens, as long as you do this ending, this happens no matter what. I kept the kitties plenty happy and fed on several playthroughs, and this still happens. So, yeah, this is a thing. Like, pets run away when you don't feed them, except for the fact that I made sure that every time I could, I got them more cat food. So they had many, many grams of cat food at every step. And the cats go in the portal. And so does Chrono's mom. And the gate will never open again. Gate's gone forever. So now they can't dismantle the epoch because they have to go get Chrono's mom back from wherever that gate led. So, no more gate there. And now the king wants to talk to his daughter. And he's happy because there's no reason she needs to run off anymore. Who needs mom? Destroy the machine. Except they're using it as an excuse to go traveling through time more. And he's going to bring out the bell. Nadia's bell. Not Lean's bell, but Nadia's bell. So while he's struggling with that, she just kind of leaves. And giggles. Off they go! And he's just gonna fire off fireworks. And we finally have credits. And there's the Akira Toriyama credit for the design of all these characters. Nobuo Uematsu. Ah, Mode 7. This takes you back, doesn't it? Yep, there's a bunch of towns. And we get our brief glimpses at everyone. Chrono, Marl, and Luca go zipping along the timelines. The feeling of being up at 4 a.m. on a Friday night in your dark room with the TV on and nothing but the Super Nintendo going. Or even earlier than that, but this is Mode 7 we're talking about, so you know, Super Nintendo. They didn't use Mode 7 much, but they did use it a little bit. Just a tiny bit. My mom waiting for her turn to play, basically. I have to say that I got actually really lucky during that Lavos fight. If the roulette wheel had come up on the prehistoric times too often, he would get to keep using that one attack that just leveled the party. Which would have made that a completely different fight. Yep, that... I'm not saying that that final fight isn't a really, really good boss fight, but just to have the threat that, you know, the thing that threatens the planet be half chicken, half fish, all goofy looking, just to have that, just kind of, it really takes some of the punch out of the threat that Lavos is. Like I said, the first time I saw that, I about died laughing. And then it leveled me with that little stone attack, and I stopped laughing and went, "Are you serious?" Yeah, the bug looked mindless. Yeah. Like I said, depending on what iteration you read of whatever theory, the big thing, the thing with the shell and the beak that held all the big attacks, was just basically a spaceship. That's all it was. It was just a massive spaceship that the thing that you beat down at the end traveled in to absorb all of the nutrients and make more. That's one theory. It's not a great theory, but I can kind of buy the fact that it may not be a spaceship, but it may be a parasite, and that's just the shell it protects itself in. But anyway, the end is nice and all. But, That is not Frog. That is Glenn. Hey, Melchior. He got the curse lifted, essentially, and returned to human form. So, about building Robo. Pay no attention to that baby you saw at the end. I like to pretend that never really happened. Pay no attention to that. Because that, was something that was kind of tacked on to, link Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross. And I like to pretend Chrono Cross doesn't actually exist. Because Chrono Cross is freaking terrible. They did that to kind of seal up a couple of plot holes. But it just doesn't work in so many regards. Because it may seal up a couple of plot holes, but it creates like a dozen more. And now, while we've got the credits rolling, we get basically artwork from the book. I have no idea why they had Marl cast fire on his sword there. Marl doesn't use fire, that's Luca. But I think other than that picture of Marl using fire, the rest of the artwork was a little bit better sourced to the actual material. If I recall correctly, that shot of Marl using fire, they just kind of said she's going to be casting a spell on a sword, and nobody said what type before they drew the picture. And this is DS exclusive stuffs. Kind of. Okay, technically they add those gates in for various reasons. If I'm recalling correctly, those are just New Game Plus stuff. But yeah, for the DS, they added in a whole separate area of the game that is an increased challenge. Basically, if we went to go try to do that right now, we'd get absolutely smeared. But that's all DS stuff, and it's all made to link better with Chrono Cross, and I don't like to think about that, because Chrono Cross is terrible, like I said. But yeah, we've completed the game. And just because... Actually, let me do it this way. No. Because I need the photographic evidence. To send into the Chrono Trigger bot. And yeah, that was ending number 1, Beyond Time. And just to show it off, I'm kind of hurry. New Game Plus. Just to kind of show what happens. This is all going to look very, very familiar. I'm just waiting to get control of the character here. There we go. So you see the hit points are still at 969, magic's still at 93. If you look, he's equipped with the wooden sword. But yeah, all that stuff is actually in the inventory. Very few things don't carry over, like the Masamune. The Masamune doesn't carry over because that's plot related. But things like the rainbow, things like all of our nifty stuffs we have here, all the items we collected throughout the course of our journey, including our Mega Elixirs and Turbo Ethers and all that, are still here. But yeah, we basically get to start at the level we ended the game at, and get to run through the game in New Game Plus mode, where everything we've seen stays exactly the same. Nothing gets a bump in difficulty. So yeah, Nothing gets a bump in difficulty, and we pretty much could romp through the game and, pretty much just clean its clock, so to speak. Which is how you get the other endings in the game. The other endings are obtained by defeating Lavos at various points in the story. For example, you can go see Lavos right at the beginning now. You get to the fair and they put a gate like right there between the two machines. If you go in that gate, you go to Lavos. The only problem is you're going basically alone. So you'd better be buff, or else you're probably not going to survive the fight. But some of the other points that are notable for being able to defeat Lavos at, if you defeat Lavos after getting to 65 million BC, but before you actually do the things that end 65 million BC, you get an ending where the reptites are in charge. The humans are extinct and the reptites continued on. And so everybody's a dinosaur. You get that ending. I can't remember exactly the point in time you need to do it, but there's another ending where Marl and Luca will watch still shots of the game's characters as they go by, and they will rate them in on attractiveness. And that ending has a special note for being the only time Chrono gets an actual spoken line to pop up. He kind of shakes his head at them for a little bit for doing the whole attractiveness rating thing at all the guys. So yeah, there are a lot of other endings. Some of them make absolutely no sense. And pretty much all of them are just for fun. There is also the developer room ending, which I believe is caused by jumping to Lavos early through the bucket. I can't remember which one it is, but there's basically a fight where it is literally just Chrono fighting Lavos all by himself, and Lavos is extra powerful. So if you can beat Lavos at that point, you get the developer room ending. Things like that. But yeah, that is something that will happen another time, another life. Maybe. But for now, I'm kind of done with Chrono Trigger. Maybe at some point I will come back. I will probably run through the game a couple more times, just, not on camera, to get people up to maximum stats of everything. And then I will just kind of romp through the game and try to show off as many endings as possible. But that will not be now. Yes, I beat the holiday challenge with 17 days to spare even. As late as I got started, and as limited as I made my playtime by just limiting it to streams, I still managed to win. So I took that picture so I could save it and send it in. So, anyway. I think that will do it for me tonight, because it's Sunday. We needed to make a trip to the grocery store. And oh yeah, it's pretty easy to see why you would have, Yeah, the game is super epic for what it, 200 hours long. Everybody always overestimates the playtime. That's the funny thing. You always overestimate the playtime, and it's really, if you don't spend extra time grinding or anything like that, and you don't really need to, if you're not limited by what characters you have to use, you can beat the game in about 15 hours. New Game Plus runs will be a lot shorter, obviously, because you really don't need to fight anything, and the fights only take a second. But, yeah. That is it. But I think that will do it for tonight, as groceries and such. So, yeah, next Saturday, we will be back with more tiers. Whose tiers? I don't know, but there will definitely be more tiers involved now that we have tapped the crazy train for Higurashi. Asshole with a camera. And yeah. Next Sunday? Don't know. I honestly do not know what I plan to do next Sunday yet. Everything was going so well in Higurashi. Then the asshole with the camera showed up and ruined everything. Also Shion. But anyway, that will be a decision I will make over the next few days. I have the list I posted that I'm going to choose from, more likely than not. But yeah. Thanks for hanging out and watching me finish the Chrono Trigger Holiday Challenge. I will see you back next Saturday for Tears and next Sunday for who knows what. I may unwind with nothing but Tabletop Simulator or something next Sunday. We will see. We will see if anybody's interested. Maybe. Possibly. But until then, guys, have a good one. I will get the music started back up, and then I will get ready to go grocery shopping. Yeah, that's my life. And probably recording a few more things for Chrono Trigger the musical tonight. And speaking of Chrono Trigger the musical, I hope you saw today's upload because I do have a small speaking role in it. As well as I'm actually in the chorus. So, personal interests there. So anyway, take care, folks. I will see you back next week. Later, all. That was not intentional. Oh well.
So you're new to this block, welcome to the ride of your life. Just keep away and your life will be pleasant to find. Some secrets are best let go, so stop knocking on my comfort door. I'll find you and I'll kick you out of sight. For you see, as much as I look like I got stuff left for you, my house is not the place to steal all my clothes. I know you're new here, but just don't think twice before you come near. I'm smarter than your average neighbor too. I don't care what you do. Step into my house, because you can't just tiptoe quite out the mouse. Hello, I'm your neighbor. Goodbye, I'll see you later. This place was not for you to look and see to get from me. Hello, you're in danger. Go and see your behavior. You may think I'm the devil, and I wish your life's in peril. Let me spell this out for you. I'm just your neighbor. Now get out. Where are you now? Way out and seek. Well, I'll always find you out. Now get out. You're a nuisance to my plans. Now get out. Now get out. So my house is huge, yeah, it's 2,000 feet high. This does not give you the right to provoke what's behind. I keep myself away, so there's no right reason for you to say the sneak peek of my building is defined. For you see, I've had more tremors than your soul needs to know. Your curiosity will make you my foe. My love was always there, so sunlight none gave me despair. Now please get off my lawn or I will show. So baby explode. Step into my house, because you can't just tiptoe quite out the mouse. Hello, I'm your neighbor. Goodbye, I'll see you later. This place was not for you to look and see to get from me. Hello, you're in danger. Go and see your behavior. So you found it. You happy with yourself? You nosy little I told you not to look. You're scarred. I told you wouldn't get far. Get out of my house! Hello, I'm your neighbor. Goodbye, I'll see you later. This place was not for you to look and see and take it from me. Hello, you're in danger. Good riddance to your behavior. You may think I'm the devil and wish your lives in peril. But the spell is up.